In this video, I will discuss steps to replace a sink with a countertop, or you can reverse the steps and change your countertop into a sink. Alright, this is going to be a multi-day project. We're taking this sink out, clearing all this out, shutting the water off, replacing the sink with a countertop. Okay, we got everything taken out of the bottom. Water is turned off. Now we disconnect the plumbing. Since this is a top mount sink, we can disconnect it by undoing the clips on the bottom. Once you get the sink out of the way, you can proceed to shut off and remove the water supply hoses and disconnect the auto on-off feature. When removing the sink clips, you can either replace them or you can upgrade them depending on how heavy your sink is. I had no clue that you can buy sink clips for your countertop independently. Now to remove this countertop, there's some screws. Undo that screw, undo this screw, and a few more, and then the top should come out. And also score along here with a razor blade to remove the old caulking. So I'm going to run to Lowe's or Home Depot and put some caps on the water supply as well as the drain. There's a small leak until I get that capped off, so I put a cup or a bowl there temporarily. Okay, so we got the water supply blocked off as well as the drain. See how the drain is blocked off? Just tighten this up. So you can use that, or you can use one of the threaded caps, but I think that's recommended. So now we can fill in the bottom with storage. So the inside corner in the back is 31 5/16, but this corner in the front is 31 1/8. You gotta give it some wiggle room. So now we measure and cut a temporary piece until the countertop is ready to be made, delivered, and installed. And because this is going in a doctor's office where there's going to be children and other people touching even the temporary piece, all the edges need to be sanded and or filed. And that way no one cuts themselves and gets a nasty sliver like I just did. So be careful. And I'm going to get the permanent replacement done as soon as possible. And because this is going in a doctor's office where there's going to be children and other people touching even the temporary piece, all the edges need to be sanded and or filed. And that way no one cuts themselves and gets a nasty sliver like I just did. So be careful. And I'm going to get the permanent replacement done as soon as possible.
A few moments later, a few minutes later, a few inches later, 12 seconds later, 3 days later, 3 weeks later, many months later, 6.5 hours later, 1 eternity later, 2,000 years later, 3:28 a.m. tomorrow, day 2, day 3, day 4.
Here is the new one sitting on top of the old one. I'm verifying the size is correct. And the countertop shops are very busy. Time to install the new countertop. Super exciting. So the install went amazing. However, it's tight on the front corner, opens up in the middle, tight in the back. Okay, I had to scrape the wall to get it out. It's tight here in the corner, but then it opens way up in the back. So the back corners are way tighter. And there's most people do not chisel out the front. You go with your smaller size and then you put silicone in the back. So I'll do the screws, install, silicone, and then paint. Now this is a very important detail, is no matter what screws you use, it must be no longer than 1.5 inches. If you use longer than 1.5 inches, then you risk the screws going through the laminate. You do not want screws going through your laminate. So just keep that in mind for all you DIYers. So as you caulk the corners, you want to use paintable caulk. And then you can use clear or white high performance caulk for bathrooms or windows or siding. You want to make sure it's paintable. I'm going to double check that one more time. And for the gap that's huge, you can use Baccarat. This is actually only 1/4 inch, but it looks like 3/8 of an inch of a gap. So you want to use a bigger Baccarat or put a bead of silicone in there, let it set up, then caulk it again. But again, it's very tight in the front, very tight here, and then tight there, but it's, once again, the drywall's not square, but we're going to fix that. Always verify the countertop is sitting perfectly level, square, and even with the cabinet as well as with the wall, ensuring that one corner does not stick out past the other corner. Well, I was going to touch up, but it appears our paint is all dried up. I'm gonna have to come back after I grab more paint, but again, this corner is tight against the wall, this corner is tight against the wall, but on the left side it opened up in the back because the back corner is not perfectly square. So it looks like a huge bead there, but after paint you won't notice as much, so I'll pick up more paint later. Although this video is not sponsored by Sherwin-Williams, I always can rely on the color match perfectly, as well as the quality of the paint and the coverage. Here's the centered look, and it turned out excellent. I absolutely recommend these guys, Countertop Factory in West Jordan. Very reasonable, professional service, very nice quality. To install a sink, you simply reverse the steps of this video. Thanks for watching.